Good evening and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Thursday evening. We're back with another massive show to bring you guys tonight. But before we jump into that, do me one small favour, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. On the show tonight, we are going to be reacting to an official statement that has been put out by Anthony Martial's agent. Obviously, this morning we were reacting to a story saying that Anthony Martial had been banished from the first team training. Anthony Martial's agent has put out an official statement, so I will be bringing that to you, and we will, of course, be reacting to it and all the rest of it. We'll also be reacting to some breaking news that literally just came out in the last 30 or so seconds, saying that Choupo-Moting is open to joining Manchester United this month, and that's coming from Fabrizio Romano, so we'll be talking about that. And we'll also be having a look at Manchester United's massive overhaul of the centre-back position. There was a really interesting story that came out earlier on today saying that in the summer, apparently United are highlighting the centre-back as the main position to overhaul, to get rid of, to bring new people in, and to really, really transform. And I think I agree with that. But as always, I invite you to have your say on all things Manchester United in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on tonight's show. I always like to see what you guys are thinking about everything, and I try and make it as interactive as possible. So get in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, and let's get straight on into it. Right, let's start the show off with this Anthony Martial story, because this did shock me a little bit. So this is Anthony Martial's agent. This is an official statement from his agent. He says, what has been said about Martial is completely fake. He has not been excluded from the group, and he has no problem with Erik ten Hag. He is simply going to have a small operation, which he should have done for a while, and which did not allow him to be 100%. He will do it now. And then he goes on to say, the agent, he says that he will not be leaving in January. This is Anthony Martial's agent. He says Anthony Martial will not leave Manchester United in January. He will stay until his contract ends in June. I mean, that's that then, really, isn't it? Nobody's going to sign Anthony Martial if his agent has put out a statement saying that he needs to have an operation and saying that he's not going to leave. He's ultimately just going to rob us for another 6 months of 250 grand a week. I mean, I don't even know how to feel about this. In some ways, I don't blame him. Manchester United was stupid enough to renew his contract a couple of seasons ago when he was barely playing any football because they didn't want to lose value. They thought he could turn into something more than what he has been. He's been here for 9 years, and he's never, ever been probably even worth anywhere close to what we paid Monaco for him. So why on earth, I assume it was Ed Woodward then, why on earth Ed Woodward thought it was a sensible idea to give him another contract? Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if you look since he had that contract, he then went off on loan to Sevilla. That didn't really work. He came back to Sevilla, and then since then he's just been injured. So we've been completely shafted there by Ed Woodward. Absolutely stupid. Yeah, absolutely stupid. Let me know what you guys think, though. Let me know what you guys think. Would you be... I mean, I don't think anybody can be happy about this, can you? Like, how can you really be happy about Anthony Martial staying? And the fact that he's not even going to contribute because he's apparently going to have an operation. So Martial's here till June. Nothing we can do about it. He's got a contract. Legally, United can do nothing about it. Unless they were willing to pay off all of his wages. The only way they could get rid of him now is if they said, here you go, Anthony Martial, we'll give you 250 grand a week for the next 6 months, goodbye. But to me, they're not going to do that because they'll hope that he can still offer something in the second part of the season. Lumen says he will earn 6 million in the next 6 months, Kieran. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. It is. It really, really is. But as I said, right, you can't really blame Anthony Martial, We were the ones, I mean, not me and you personally, but the Glazers and Ed Woodward, John Murtagh, Richard Arnold, they were the ones who thought it was a good idea to give him a contract, a new one, and to give him £250,000 a week when he's never, at any point in his career, played anywhere near a £250,000 a week player, ever. I always revert back to Man City. Now, I know people will say, why do you talk about Man City? But Man City just won the treble, right? They pay... Phil Foden earns less than Martial. John Stones earns less than Martial. Ruben Dias earns less than Martial. Walker does. Julian Alvarez does. Doku does. I mean, even Rodri, probably the best CDM in world football, just won the treble last season, earns 30 grand a week less than what Martial's earning at Manchester United. And if that doesn't scream incompetence to you, Rodri is a 220 grand a week player without a shadow of a doubt. But how on earth Martial managed to get 250 grand a week from us, I will never understand. But anyway, let's move on from that. Martial stays. Official statement: he's not going anywhere. There'll be no move to Turkey. There'll be no Fenerbahce or Galatasaray deal because his agent has pretty much ruined those plans for Manchester United. Because the fact that he said in public that Martial will stay and needs an operation, no club's going to think, oh yeah, let's sign him and let him sit in the treatment room for the next 6 months. Like, it's not going to happen. Moving on to the next story, though, let's talk a little bit about the centre-back overhaul. So, from what I'm seeing this afternoon, apparently Manchester United's key priority for the summer window is the centre-back position, and they're looking to move on quite a few of the centre-backs. We're looking at potentially Maguire going, Varane going, potentially even Lindelof going as well, as being talked about today. And as a result of that, they're looking to bring in a younger profile of player who are all going to be on a lot less wages as well than what Harry Maguire's on. You look at Maguire, he's on nearly 200 grand a week. You look at Varane, he's on 340 grand a week. Even Lindelof, right, who's a squad player, is on 120 grand a week. So if you were to remove Lindelof, Maguire, and Varane's wages, right, you'd be saving approximately 570 grand a week in wages with those three combined. If you were then to go and sign, say, Jared Brathwaite, I think he was on about 10 grand a week at Everton. So sign Jared Brathwaite as an example, sign Todibo, and maybe even sign one other defender as well. You sign two or three defenders, right? Centre-backs, all at the beginning of their career, who are all earning probably under 50 grand a week at the moment. Even if you were to give them 50 grand a week each, you'd still be going from paying 575 grand a week for Varane, Maguire and Lindelof combined over to maybe a max amount of 150 grand a week for, say, Brathwaite, Todibo, and somebody else. It's absolutely mad. So I like the sound of this because I think our centre-back position definitely needs to be really, really looked at. Obviously, Martinez for me is untouchable. I think he's obviously going to stay and he's going to be part of our future for the next kind of 5+ years, I would say. But Varane, Maguire, Lindelof, obviously Varane is a world-class player, there's no doubt about it, but at the age of 30, to be on 340 grand a week and to be injured as much as he is, I don't think United can really justify it. Again, I revert back to Man City, okay? John Stones just won the treble at Man City. He earns 100 grand a week less than Varane. Akanji, again, a player who's been unbelievable for Man City. He earns nearly 170 grand a week less than Varane. Ruben Dias, 175 grand a week less than Varane. You get the picture I'm saying here. Like, Man City starting centre-backs who've just come off the back of winning the treble are earning half the amount that Rafael Varane's in playing, and we won the League Cup last season. It doesn't really add up to me. But let me know what you guys think. Like, in that centre-back position, do you agree with this story? Do you think Varane, Lindelof and Maguire, do you think those three should leave in the summer? And do you think they will leave? Let me know, yes or no. Graham says, if Martial isn't training properly and he's unfit, surely he's in breach of contract. No, that's not how it works, mate. If somebody's injured, you can't say they're in breach of contract. Manchester United gave him a contract. He's now injured. He requires surgery. You're not even really, like, you can't say he's not training properly because he's injured. That's not how it works. So, unfortunately for Manchester United and for Eric Ten Hag, we're stuck with Martial until June. His contract expires in June. I will literally be disgusted if they give him a contract extension. I'll be absolutely disgusted. I can't even begin to think how I will feel if I see a story saying that United are going to give Martial a contract extension. I would be so angry, honestly, so angry. But from what I'm hearing, there is going to be no contract extension for Anthony Martial, and he will leave as a free agent in June, which is only 5 months away now. So the end is getting closer for Anthony Martial, earning an absolute robbery of a living at Manchester United. Anyway, let's move on to some potential incomings in the January window. So Fabrizio Romano has just come out in the last kind of 10 or so minutes, saying that apparently Choupo-Moting is open to joining Manchester United in the January window. Now, would I sign Choupo-Moting at Manchester United? I would say out of all of the options we were linked to, Guirassy, Werner, I would say that Choupo-Moting was bottom of my list, being completely honest. My order was probably Werner number one, not because I think he's good, but just because I don't think we should spend any money in this window. I think we need to get rid of people. I think we need to bring Jim Ratcliffe in. We need to bring in the sporting director, and we need to properly work out what the plan is for the future. So spending 15 million on Guirassy, who, let's be honest, is probably just a one-season wonder, felt a little bit counterproductive for me. So out of the kind of players we've been linked to in the striker position this window, my number one option was Werner. Again, after seeing him against United on Sunday in the Tottenham game, like, he isn't very good, but I think he's better than nothing. Then I would have said Guirassy, and then Choupo-Moting would have been my final option. Like, Choupo-Moting, 35 years of age. He scored 2 goals in the Bundesliga this season in 15 matches. It doesn't really excite me, to be completely honest. Like, he's one of those players that I just don't understand how he went from Stoke to PSG. Like, and then from PSG to Bayern. It's absolutely crazy. The interesting thing with Choupo-Moting as well is his contract expires in June. So I don't really see why Bayern Munich would loan him for 6 months when his contract expires in June. It doesn't really make any sense. So the only way in which I see United getting Choupo-Moting is if they offered him longer than 6-month contract. So kind of like Eric Dyer has just moved to Bayern Munich from Tottenham, right? Eric Dyer's contract was up in June, so he had 5 months left of his contract. And I think Bayern Munich have paid a couple of £1 million for him. I don't know how long Eric Dyer's contract is at Bayern Munich. I'm just going to have a quick look. But the point I'm trying to make here is, okay, that's interesting, actually. So with Eric Dyer, I'm just trying to give you a bit of context here. Bayern have only signed him until June. It says Bayern have signed Eric Dyer from Tottenham on a deal until June 2024, which is obviously in like 5 months, with the option for a further year. So unless Man United were willing to do that, buy Choupo-Moting for a couple of £1 million, I just wouldn't even do that, though, personally. I just think, like, why bother wasting money on somebody who's 35? Like, I genuinely would probably rather have Weghorst than Choupo-Moting. I'm not even joking. At least Weghorst knows what it means now to be at Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag liked him. Like, I genuinely would rather have Weghorst than Choupo-Moting. But let me know in the comment section, guys. Obviously, this is a bit of a trivial question, but who would you prefer to have? Obviously, Choupo-Moting or Weghorst? Like, if I had to pick between one or the other, I genuinely probably would rather have Weghorst. Like, I'm not even joking either. Where is he? Okay, so he's on loan at Hoffenheim at the moment. I mean, the fact that Burnley are in the Premier League, right? And Burnley don't even want him anymore, even though they're in the Premier League. That just sums it up for me. I mean, fair play to him. I'm just having a look here. He's got 4 goals in 13 matches in the Bundesliga, Weghorst. He's averaging a goal every 3 games. Like, that's not terrible, is it? Again, I'm not by any means saying that Weghorst is my dream signing, but if someone had a gun to my head and said, you've got to pick between Weghorst and Choupo-Moting, I genuinely would go for Weghorst, I think. Like, and that just shows the level where we are right now. We've got someone in the chat called Arsenal for Life, and he says Nketiah would be good for you. I'm not sure about Nketiah personally, mate. I think he's all right, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't want Nketiah at Manchester United. I think Højlund is our kind of project. He's our work in progress. And I think that we need a world-class striker. And Nketiah is not a world-class striker. I don't even think he's better than Højlund, to be honest with you. And how old is Nketiah? I know he's quite young still. I mean, he's 24. I genuinely would rather have Rasmus Højlund than Nketiah. So for me, yeah, definitely not Nketiah. But yeah, like, I would rather just wait until the summer and go and try and sign somebody else, like, that we actually want. I just think Choupo-Moting it's a bit pointless. What have we got? We've got Moise is asking about Moise Kean. Yeah, there is quite a lot of stories coming out about Moise Kean in the last kind of 24 hours. I think he'd be a good option. I do. I think, yeah, but there is some breaking news actually on Moise Kean, and it's bad news for Manchester United. Apparently, Atletico Madrid have just agreed a deal for Moises Kean. There you go. Moises Kean is going to Atletico Madrid. So no Moises Kean for us. No Timo Werner. Guirassi's release clause has now expired. So the only person left is Choupo-Moting. I don't gamble, but if I did gamble, I would put money on us signing Choupo-Moting, I think now. I think it's written in the stars. You know, Fabrizio puts the tweet out earlier on today saying that he's keen on coming to United. Moise Kean is literally in the last 5 minutes, Fabrizio's posted that Atletico Madrid have agreed a deal for Moises Kean. So he's out, he's gone. Timo Werner's gone to Tottenham, and the only option left is Choupo-Moting. So embrace yourselves for that, everybody. Choupo-Moting incoming. Here we go. It's not here we go yet, but he probably will. Florian says Guirassy is way better than Choupo-Moting. Mate, 100%. Guirassy is way better, yeah. But the point I'm trying to make here is we don't have any money. And for us to get money, we'd have to sell players, and we're not going to be able to sell players. So, you know, if someone said you can have Victor Osimhen now, I would sign Victor Osimhen, but that's not realistic, is it? So, you know, we've got to make the best of the situation we're in. Geordie says, if Ten Hag gets sacked and United qualify for Europe and no FA Cup, your thoughts? He says, Ten Hag gets sacked if United can't qualify for Europe and no FA Cup, your thoughts? I don't know, mate. I honestly don't. I have no idea what Jim Ratcliffe wants to do with this club. You know, we had stories coming out everywhere over the last couple of weeks saying that he wants Graham Potter. Obviously, nobody in the United fan base, bar a very, very small amount, want Graham Potter. Like, everybody wants Ten Hag to remain over Graham Potter. I don't think we'll get top four. I think we could still get fifth or sixth. I think we could probably get Europa. Does Europa keep Erik ten Hag his job? I honestly don't know. I don't. I think there's so many different pieces of the puzzle here that it's not as black and white as saying if Erik ten Hag doesn't get top four, he'll get sacked. You know, they're going to have a meeting with him in the summer and they'll say to him, Eric, we know at the moment you have in your contract a clause that says that you ultimately have the overriding decision on transfers. Jim Ratcliffe won't want that in his contract. We know that already. Jim Ratcliffe wants to bring in a director of football, a head of recruitment. Like, they want to take away the transfer-related side of Erik ten Hag's job. They'll just want him to be the coach. Now, there is a world where Erik ten Hag says, this isn't what I agreed, I don't want to do this, and maybe then they mutually decide to part ways. That is 100% a possibility, because the thing we have to remember, right, with Erik ten Hag, the one thing that I will say is quite good from Manchester United is they didn't give him like a 5 or 6 year contract. Obviously, when Mourinho came, when David Moyes came, they gave them stupid contracts. We're probably still paying David Moyes' wages now. Whereas Erik ten Hag has only got about 14 months left of his current deal. It expires in June 2025. So yeah, he's got about 14 or 15. Hold on a sec. Yeah, he's only got about 14 or 15 months left of his current deal. And there's no sign of Erik ten Hag getting a new contract at the moment, as you can imagine. So if Manchester United were to let go of Erik ten Hag in the summer, maybe there's a mutual decision. Maybe someone like Dortmund comes knocking. You know, I could see Erik ten Hag at like a club like Dortmund where he would absolutely shine. So yeah, I don't know. In short, I'm not in the camp where, you know, he's going to get sacked or he's not going to get sacked. I think it's pretty unclear. Florian says, do you think Gonzalo Ramos will come to Manchester United? I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I probably would go for Gonzalo Ramos in the summer. Obviously, everybody wants Victor Osimhen. Is that realistic? Probably not. I would go and get Gonzalo Ramos. He's obviously not settled in that well at PSG. I mean, most people who go to PSG don't settle in very well, let's be honest. So it's not like that embarrassing that he's gone there and it hasn't worked. There is a lot of clubs really, really interested in him. There's people like Arsenal. But the overriding headline with Gonzalo Ramos is that apparently PSG want to get rid of him. And PSG have reportedly replaced Gonzalo Ramos on the transfer list, despite only taking him on loan in summer 2023 with an obligation for 24-25. So he is currently on loan with PSG, isn't it? It's a loan with an obligation to buy. We'll have to wait and see. The fee from Benfica to PSG would be, 65 million euros. That's how much Benfica have agreed. So there is obviously a possibility where maybe PSG agree a loan deal with somebody and then they take that obligation to buy off him. I mean, I'll say this now, right? Would you take Gonzalo Ramos for 55 million? I would. I think he would be a great player for Man United. Only 22 years of age. He had better stats than Rasmus Højlund last season. Yes, he's still young. Yes, he's maybe a little bit inexperienced, but he was putting up some incredible stats last season in the across all competitions. He got 39 goal contributions, goal and assist in 47 matches last season, and a lot of those were in the Champions League. He got 4 goals in 4 games in the Champions League, and he got 19 goals and 7 assists in the Portuguese league. And then if you go to the season before that, his stats were just as good. So yeah, for me, if Gonzalo Ramos was an option, I would definitely go and do it. But is it realistic? Probably not at the moment. Right, let's read out a couple of questions really, really quickly. Everybody smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Richie says, big name and big price players won't be at Man United under Ineos. Ramos won't be coming. I don't think Gonzalo Ramos is a big name player, to be honest with you. He's 22 years of age. He had 1 good season in the Portuguese league. Like, I wouldn't put Gonzalo Ramos in that category. Big name strikers are Victor Osimhen, Harry Kane, maybe Ivan Toney, maybe just about. Like, those are the big name signings that you could go for. For me, Gonzalo Ramos isn't like a big signing. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's like a huge name at the moment in world football, you know? And I think he fits the right profile. He's 22 years of age. You know, he's done well. But let me know what you guys think about that one. Where are we? People in the chat are saying what manager they want. Some people are saying they want Erik ten Hag to stay. Yeah, you know my stance, guys. I want Erik ten Hag to stay. Somebody says, Kieran, do you think we can get Xerxes this January? I don't think so, mate. The only way we'd be able to sign anybody like that is if it was a loan with an obligation to buy in the summer. Joshua Xerxes, clubs, you know, they want 50 million for him. So if it was an option between Xerxes for 50 million or Gonzalo Ramos for 55 million, I'm going for Gonzalo Ramos 100%. Like, Xerxes had a good season this year, but he's the same age as Gonzalo Ramos. He's got 7 goals in 19 games. I mean, that's pretty good. It's not bad, is it, in the Serie A? But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I hope everyone has a lovely evening. I'm back tomorrow, as usual, 11 a.m. UK time. Do me one small favour. Like the video before you go. Subscribe if you're new. Let's try and see 200 likes on today's video. Have a good evening, everybody. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning.